What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So we're going to be having two videos today in regards to the brand new KIZUNA clash that has just gone live. This first video is going to be using normal generic teams against the KIZUNA clash. All of them work pretty fine, and we're going to have a separate video which is going to cover 3 separate one team versus alls against each variation of these fights. Now, one thing to note about, these normal teams should be doing a lot more damage in comparison to the one team versus alls. So typically you use those one team to beat every single variation until you need to switch things up, and then you can switch to, one of the teams that you see here. And these are definitely not the best teams you can build for this. These teams are a little bit of a concoction between, some high-end characters as well as some free-to-play units, more accessible units, and we are using the friend captain Reiju for a couple of these teams in this video to make things a lot easier. If you do have the opportunity to find lots of Reiju friend captains, personally I've had a lot of Reiju show up on my friends list, so building around that is going to make your life a whole lot easier. And in this team, using hybrid Kaido in synergy with Reiju is great because they are both powerhouse focused captains, and of course as long as you can build characters to proc the super type of Reiju, so a Sanji or one of the Germa characters, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier.
弟に手出しする奴らは私が許さない。勝った奴が大きく近づく。大福コールだ。
Moving on now to the secondary team. Now this is utilizing a level limit break Snakeman as both of our captains. Even if you only have one of them with level limit break, make sure to use whatever Snakeman that you have that is level limit broken, whether it be the friend captain or your own version of Snakeman. Make sure to use it on stage 2, because you want to remove that defense up that you do see on stage 2. If you don't remove the defense up, it is going to be incredibly difficult to get through it. An alternative way that you can do it is by using some type of Sanji special on stage 2 with the support of Legend Onami. That will also set the enemy's defense to 0 for that one turn, so you guys will be seeing more of that as we go into the one team versus alls in the separate video. This team also utilizes Ace and Yamato. They're really good because their super switch is going to be charged on each variation of this fight, so you can have them and get their guaranteed conditional boost. Though if you are using Reiju as one of the units on your team, Reiju as a captain gets access to her Reiju poison conditional boost, which you ideally want to use over using Ace and Yamato's effect. But still, getting access to this character with all of their max capabilities is obviously very strong. Moving on now, we're on the quick variation. We're going to be using the Reiju friend captain with the Super Tandem Luffy main captain. This is also a really nice combination, especially if you have access to the Rush Sugo special Sanji character, as he synergizes perfectly with Legend Reiju in this quest. Remember that versus Quick, on the final stage when you kill the boss, he's going to revive with 25% of his health and switch one of your captains randomly with one of your crewmates. Alternatively, if you have your own way to switch into the captain position, that does negate the enemy's ability to switch your captain around, which is why Rush Special Sanji is going to be very good in this quest versus the quick variation, not only because Sanji himself has that type advantage, but being able to avoid the captain swap mechanics is really useful to have. Now, in this team, I do actually make a little bit of an error. It doesn't actually result in a loss, but it is something to keep in mind. So we actually use the switch effect of Ace and Yamato, and what that does is it does inflict the enemy with an ignited status. Now what happens is when the enemy revives to 25% of their health, the ignite status does activate at that point, and unfortunately it does put them below 20% HP. When they fall below 20% health, they are going to inflict themselves with 2 turns of damage nullification, so we had to stall the damage nullification out, and then we were able to secure victory. So just a little bit of a note, if you do opt to use Ace and Yamato or any ignited status in this quest, do not use it because it is going to be a little bit of an issue. Of course, if you have an ignite that does not go through immunity, then it's going to be fine, but with Ace and Yamato's switch ability, it does go through immunity, and you know, it isn't really needed because we have Reiju for her conditional boost, so you can just start this quest off with Ace as the unit instead of having it as Yamato. You don't get access to their chain boundary, but Sanji will already give you a chain boundary anyway, so it's not the end of the world. And now we move on to the secondary team versus the quick variation. This time we're not using Reiju as a friend. We're going to be using the brand new Super Evolution 6+ Nami and Robin, and they're actually pretty good. They work pretty well in this quest. And we do have the free-to-play treasure map Akainu, going to be very clutch when we reach the final stage, as his special removes all the burn and all of the despair that is inflicted even past level 31. Now we do have Sabo, who is very important for this team too. I think we might have touched up on him in the previous clip as well, but he's so good because he gets rid of the paralysis slots, and for those of you who don't know, to remove paralysis slots you have to activate an effect, whether it be from a support or from a special that removes paralysis, and by using Sabo special he does remove paralysis, and he does give us a 3.0 chain boundary. And the other real kicker here is that you do get an attack down based on your chain, and you need to make sure your chain is higher than 3. So Sabo is like the perfect character for this fight, being able to generate those slots, as well as also removing the attack down based on your chain, or at least bypassing it in a way. We also use the Kaido special there, just to ensure we have enough damage to kill the boss, because we kind of had a little bit of a free space. And then we have the special ability of Nami and Robin on both versions to get an attack boost for multiple turns, considering both of the Nami Robins here are max level limit break, so the attack and all boost actually lasts for multiple turns. And you do see that we actually use the switch effect of Nami and Robin on stage 1, so that when we use it on stage 3, we can convert all of our slots to the stored Wano slots that we had on stage 1. Just a really solid team. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to deal with the captain swap mechanic, but with all of the buffs that we have activated, it really shouldn't be that big of an issue. Alright, so now we're looking at the final boss versus Int, and this first team is going to be using the brand new Blackbeard versus Whitebeard character. Obviously going to be using Whitebeard as the captain, and he's really nice. He does resist despair as a captain, so we don't have to worry about that when we reach the final stage. And he's just got a really powerful special, generating a full board of tandem slots that goes through block, as well as providing us with a 3-turn chain boundary. So by using the special of Marco and Vista on stage 2, we can remove the special bind, and then we do still have to deal with the block slots, but that's where we can use Whitebeard anyway to give us a really powerful chain boundary, stacking with that attack boost, killing stage 2 very comfortably. Reiju deals with a majority of the debuffs on the final stage, though you do have to note that after level 31, the enemy is going to inflict you with special reverse, which is why we have the certain characters on the team that we do, such as that Jinbei, as well as the Moria. Moria is kind of cool because he does negate any damage that exceeds 2,000. But the thing is with the way that Reiju works, you actually get quite a lot of recovery, because when the enemy is inflicted with damage from Reiju poison, you heal 20% of your max HP. Reiju's captain ability heals you a bunch as well. So realistically, you can actually switch out Moria for pretty much anything else. Another Sai powerhouse unit would be a better choice than Moria, because you are going to take the HP hit quite comfortably, you know. So you can replace Moria with basically whatever you want.
弟に手出しする奴らは私が許さない。望むところだ。バカの真似をするのうるせえ。
And finally, the last team here is going to be using Gear 5 Luffy with the friend captain Momonosuke. This team will work if you do have a friend captain Gear 5 as well. You don't have to use, you know, Momo and Luffy together, but I felt like this combo is actually a lot better due to the fact that you get the attack boost from Momo. It's a very solid attack boost, and it just helps clear stage 2 a bit easier, but to be honest, you can use double Gear 5 as well. It's not a big issue. Characters that are important for this team is we do have the Nami, which does remove all of the resilience, but this is where Momo comes into it, where, you know, if you don't have the legend Nami, then you pretty much have to use Momo in this team comp. If you have your own Nami, then you don't need to use Momo. You can use double Gear 5 if you so wish to do that. But the real key thing here is that we do have the revive mechanic on Gear 5 Luffy, because anytime we activate a healing special, the enemy is going to basically kill us. So that's going to be perfect, because we use the special of Frankie, which is going to give us an attack and an orb boost, a 2.5 boost, and then the enemy is going to use their special, which just kills us immediately, which revives us into Gear 5. We can use the Luffy special, we get all of the big benefits from him in being in Gear 5 state, and then we have Usopp as well, which removes all the despair and also gives us a guaranteed delayed conditional boost. So we have base attack boost, chain attack orb boost, like it's just everything. So that is going to wrap it up for me in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and if you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
Kataki には手出すなっつうの。仕方のねえ奴らだ。